All right, guys, it's Sunday, March 4th, and I do have some news for you guys. I know it's been a few days and there hasn't been a video, but I've been really busy, so I wanted to get this one out, and it's not that long of a video, but there is some good information in here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Verizon. A lot of people are already aware Verizon's had a huge outage for a large portion of the U.S. for the last 24 to 48 hours. Areas in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, a lot of the East Coast, Virginia, and I guess even parts of Texas and other states. Uh, with the high winds, a lot of damage to different hardware. We've had this huge East Coast winter storm. It's really created a lot of problems from the hardware standpoint. Lots of damage, extensive damage to the network infrastructure, so they're having a huge problem there. It looks like most of the service has been restored. I guess what I want to know from you guys is how many of you out there actually did lose service, and if you did, has it been restored yet? Let me know in the comment section below what's going on for you guys. I'd like to hear where you're at and what you guys witnessed there. Also from Verizon, they're receiving an FCC fine. So Straight Path acquisition that they just completed, they purchased the company for $3.1 billion dollars. They were able to outbid AT&T for this purchase. Basically, they just bought the company for the spectrum holdings. They've got 1,000 different licenses for the millimeter wave bands. From what I understand, it's 39 gigahertz, 28 gigahertz bands. So think of huge potential into 5G. This is probably it was strictly a purchase made for the future into 5G. The fine itself is $614 million, which sounds like a lot of money, and it is. That's a lot of dough. But these guys at Verizon, they make a lot of money. So at 126 billion operating revenue, I guess they can afford 614 million measly bucks. And then some 5G news from Verizon. Since Verizon believes that their network will be ready for 5G before smartphones will be, they're going to be rolling out some 5G hotspots. So they're pretty much they're. I guess it's understood from Verizon's side that the 5G towers will be there. The infrastructure will already be starting to deploy within 2018. So, it's going to be a situation where they believe their network's more ready than the actual devices. So, and also, they also know that it's not going to be fully supported. There's not going to be that many 5G ready towers. The number of small cells that are 5G compatible is probably going to be limited. And remember, 5G based hardware is very limited in its range. So what they're going to do is they're basically going to broadcast a Wi-Fi 5G signal to any capable device that can pick up the signal. They should be able to get the gigabit LTE speeds. So as long as you have a compatible device that is gigabit LTE ready, you should be able to see these really high, high category speeds, anywhere between like Cat 16 to Cat 19 speed devices. So the S9, the S9 Plus, probably the Note 9 later on this year, they'll all be able to be compatible with these speeds. So we may actually see some really fast gigabit LTE by the end of the year. I'll keep you guys posted to the channel. We'll see if we can get some speed tests towards the end of the year and figure out what we're seeing from Verizon. A little bit of net neutrality news. This is specifically with AT&T. So they've already established that they're going to have a sponsored data program through prepaid wireless customers. They're going to offer like DirecTV Now, DirecTV, the Uverse. They already kind of do this, but basically they want to provide different services through data that doesn't count against the customers. So, it doesn't count against their data caps. This is basically, paid fast lanes, prioritizing traffic. The paid fast lanes has always been a concern of consumers, and here we're kind of seeing AT&T very quickly jumping on this opportunity to do it now that the FCC has pretty much gotten rid of net neutrality. So AT&T is up and at it. Also, AT&T is being sued. Failure to disclose throttling of data limits. I guess there was an unlimited data plan initial rollout a while ago, and after 5 gigabytes of usage, they were throttling people, slowing them down, and apparently this wasn't in the contractual language of the agreements. So AT&T tried to appeal. They lost the appeal, and now the case is going to proceed. So the FTC is going to proceed with the lawsuit, and this is good news for consumers. Anytime a carrier does something evil, it's good that they kind of get pushed to the fire for it. Some additional stuff from AT&T. It looks like they're changing some of their unlimited data plan features. So basically, what used to be the $65 plan, or no, it okay. So there's two plans. The plan, which used to cost 60, is now going to be 65, the lower tier plan. And then the more expensive $90 plan will decrease to $80. So, and their family plans are going to increase by $5 per month. So the 4-line plan will go from 155 to 160, and then the 185 plan will go from 185 to 190. So we're seeing increases from the family plan as well. So the cheaper unlimited plan, which is called Unlimited Choice Enhanced, I guess they used to have a restriction, a data restriction of 3.5 megabits per second on download for anything. That's being lifted, which is good, but the video streaming, I think, is still stuck at 1.5 megabits per second, which limits you to 480p resolution, really, and no mobile hotspot data. The pricier Unlimited Plus Enhanced plan, there is no speed limits there. The 10 gigabyte of hotspot data has been upgraded to 15 gigabytes, so that's really good. The pricier option does give you HBO free discounts on DirecTV, Uverse, and DirecTV Now, so it does have its advantages. Now, there is something additional that they're doing, and this is going to depend on your region. If you're in New York City, switching to either of these two plans can get you free DirecTV in New York, and I guess with either of the plans. And existing customers, if they're not new, will get $35 in bill credits each month for 12 months. In Chicago, they're giving free home internet of up to 50 megabits per second if you switch from another carrier. And I guess in Los Angeles, they're doing a buy one, get one on the iPhone 10 64 gigabyte version. And those will be available starting March 1st, so they should be available now. So some news definitely coming out of AT&T there. A little bit from Sprint. Sprint's got a deal on their iPhone 10 lease. 18-month lease is going from $42 a month to $20 a month. So if you switch or add a line, you can get that deal. Also, Sprint's going to be rolling out their first massive MIMO 5G markets. They did let us know that it is Chicago, Dallas, LA, Atlanta, Houston, and Washington, D.C. So they're going to be deploying it starting with those huge major markets. The rollout begins in April. They are going to be doing this over band 41, so the antenna hardware and towers will utilize that band. I guess it's supposed to make the network 10 times faster than standard 4G LTE, so it's just going to need some additional upgrades to these markets. I'm guessing that the hardware needed to accomplish this is being installed and deployed. So the tri-band service through 800 megahertz, 1.9 gigahertz, and 2.5 gigahertz, and through all their new small cell, supplemental small cell sites, we should start to see some excellent performance from Sprint. I know we're all looking forward to that, seeing Sprint really take off in 2018. And the last thing I'll leave you guys with is the FCC vote coming here in March. They're basically going to be voting on infrastructure changes towards 5G network development. They want to expedite hardware installations and expand the networks. There's a lot of restrictions. I mean, you've got, the cell site restrictions. You've got additional hardware installation limitations. You've got environmental policies, historical sites, historical building restrictions. In a lot of cases, the networks, to deploy, to expand, they kind of need some of those things lifted. So it's been slowing down Sprint quite a bit, AT&T a little bit, and to a lesser extent, Verizon and T-Mobile. But they want to deploy the infrastructure upgrades very quickly, but they are restricted in how they're going to do this. So the FCC will hold the vote in March. I'll get word at some point in the next few weeks what's going to come of this. I'm sure it's going to be market dependent to a certain extent. So I'll keep you guys posted here on the channel. Let me know what you guys think is going to come of the FCC vote. If you think things are going to expedite, or if you think there's going to be a snag and a holdup. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below. So that's it for this one, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Much appreciated. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. This is Steve from Steve Mobile Tech. Have a good Sunday, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.